Hey, what's up, guys? We are back in Minecraft. We are still in the epic jungle. I am going to create a tree house today, and who knows. I decided that today I want to talk about something that I used to be obsessed with a long time ago when I was a kid. Well, when I was not a kid, when I was like in college, really. I started looking into something called the Illuminati. And I know like some people are going to chuckle. Some people are still in that phase where they're just learning about all the stuff that, they have out, for all the conspiracy theories and stuff like that they have out. And all the videos that people watch that talk about things like secret societies, that talk about things like that happen amongst the high ranks, the 1% of the United States. And of the world, actually, not even just the United States, but of the world. They talk about like the bloodlines and how everything's controlled by bloodline, how your destiny is basically set in stone by the time you you are born, just straight off your ethnicity, your everything, your name, your lineage, where you're from, and just to let you guys know, all that is true. I'm just kidding. No, but to be honest, like the thing that gets me is like, there's a new age now. There's an age of technology, and it just, to a degree, it has like made the world a lot better, but it has made the world a lot less creative, a lot less original. There is a lot more data being passed about you, like every second. Every one of these videos that I post on YouTube is being watched by everybody in the world. I'm just kidding. No, that would be awesome, but no. But what I want to say is, like, it doesn't matter where you are nowadays or what you're doing. You are going to be watched by Google Analytics. There is a crazy amount of data to be taken from that. It's crazy how much data is actually being collected about every person in the world. And for some secret society to exist, they would essentially just be like another advertising agency or something along those lines, like some data, and it wouldn't even be all that impressive, because all that stuff is available. If you're a business person, you actually want to make a business, and you want to have the demographics of your audience, set up on Google, and you want to know like exactly what's going on with people that are in your neighborhood or in certain areas. You want to know what they like. You want to know what they eat every day. You want to know how much they drink every night, how much they smoke every day, how much they consume, because everything is based off consumption, and it's real easy to get all that data. I mean, it's not hard at all, and a lot of people don't understand the depth of how much data is being collected about them. All the porn that you have, all the secret stash porn that you have, it's all being collected in some database somewhere. The majority on Google, because Google has so much. If you want us to call something the Illuminati, call Google the Illuminati itself. Just the engine itself collecting all the data. It's crazy, and it'll blow your mind the more you look into it, because Google has pretty much your entire life on a database, and it gets crazier and crazier the more you look into it. The more data is being collected about you. You can never really be alone, especially if you're on the internet. You've given up your rights to keep yourself hidden or whatever. And there's no reason to hide. There's really no reason to be worried about what Google's going to do with your information, because Google's a company. They're not retarded. They're going to they're going to cover their own ass, and they're going to do what they need to do to keep their business alive. And obviously they want to stay on top. They don't want to screw with anything with what they have going on right now, because they have the world. And as far as like the Illuminati goes, when I was looking at it when I was a kid, when I was a kid in college, I would always think like, I'm being watched right now if I look up these videos, and even the videos themselves, they're basically tools to get you more afraid of whatever you're looking up. Like, say if you look up something on UFOs, you're gonna get Google ads for UFOs for days. You're gonna get a lot of ads for. You're gonna get if you look up the Illuminati stuff, you're gonna get ads for the Illuminati. It's pretty funny, but that stuff happens, and that's just how. I mean, Google wants you to be happy or be entertained or whatever. They don't want you to think. They don't want you to. They don't want you to spend your time developing yourself as a human, because that's not as profitable to them as you wishing you were somebody else, or wishing you had somebody else's skin or somebody else's hair color, or wishing that you were like something else other than what you are right now. So what happens, and the reason why I say that is because it's more profitable for them to be able to control like what you consume, and then in the end they end up taking they end up making more profit off you, and that's just business. That's what business is, and it's good. That's good for for business. So there's a lot more to like the whole Illuminati stuff than posted on a lot of these dumb videos. And a lot of these videos, like, to me, they scare people away from technology in general, because then they get people to start thinking like, oh no, like I'm being collected as a resource or something. Well, you've always kind of been a resource. It's kind of like in the Matrix when he goes in and he sees like all the people in a battery, and it's fueling the entire Matrix, that whole battery system that they have going. Well, that's actually true. Like, that's how society works, and everybody has to contribute in order for the entire system to work. Otherwise it's pointless. Like, there's no reason for it to exist. Like, it has to be created by the people. It has to be powered by the people. And I think that when I was in that stage, it also got me really depressed when I would read stuff about how secret societies are how they essentially like kill people and do all these crazy things, like how they kill people who have an opinion, or that's just in general. Like, if you think about people in the past, people who have been murdered for stuff like Martin Luther King, and if you think about those kinds of people, well, they kind of warranted themselves to be like that, to be outsiders, because they wanted to. That's how they marketed themselves to the world. That's how they advertised themselves to the consumers, is that they wanted to be they wanted to rally people up and get them to start thinking for their own. And that's just not how society goes. That's literally not how it goes. They went against the system, and they got, the system responded to them. It wasn't like a backlash, it was a response. There is never a backlash, it's always a response. So if you go out of your way to like, to try and go against the society of what people are used to, then you're pretty much going to warrant yourself to be pushed out of this society and placed as a different type of person. Now, I understand this a lot because I'm in the advertising world, and I've been in the advertising world, and I understand what the mentality is. It's not too hard. So it's all about profit. Like, if you can make a good profit, then that's how the world works. And I know, to me, like, the monetary system is outdated, like the money system, and people, it's outdated, but it's so ingrained in us that we can't even fathom not having a money system. The monetary system is a money system. Not having a money system, they say like, well, we can't go back to trading stuff, like we can't go back to trade, and they don't think outside of the box. They can't think beyond a system that's based off of money. And then they basically push themselves into a corner, and then the more they think about it, the more frustrated they get, and then they go back and they go and try and justify the means of they sit comfortably, and it's fine. They sit comfortably in their house, and nice house or whatever, and they say like, I can't give this all up. And yeah, you shouldn't want to give that all up. That's awesome that that you have a really nice house and that you're doing well for yourself, and you can't think of outside the box of like what could go on. But there's people that have made all kinds of societies already. There's people that made utopian societies that would work incredibly well, but then they get misconstrued, and they get there's like the let's see, communism. The original idea of the Marxism, really, communism is like a word now. People are like, oh my god. No, communism, the original idea was Marxism, and Marxism was perfect. Like it would have catered to everybody's needs. It would have been like used. It would have been crazy. It would have been so much better than what we have now, had the original idea not been bastardized by all the communist people that wanted to take over and take control. I'm dead. Oh god, almost died. But all those ideas get bastardized when they're put into use, because people can't think outside of the society they're living in already. So what they do is they bring in their outside influence into the city. The only way to enable some sort of society like that is to create a country that never gets to see the light of day, like a country outside of the United States, outside of I don't know, maybe even in space. The only way is to create a society that is so like away from anything from the world, and basically make breed a bunch of people who've never even heard of anything on the outside world, and who will never get influenced or even taught about democracy or the money system or anything like that, and just basically start over. That's the only way that a better system could be implemented, is if those people are grown up into that society, and if they were ever to be pushed back into like society now, like a money system, and they come from a society that is basically like the perfect version of Marxism, or other societies. There's a bunch of others. There's one called a technocracy, which is basically a computer system that is created to take resources and to survey the land, so that it can think about the resources of what you've got. Like say in the desert there's an excess of salt or something, and then in the near the ocean there's fish all over there's a huge amount of fish that can be used for food, and then you take the salt and you take the fish, and the computer basically takes inventory about all of that, and then it decides where all that stuff should go, and what society needs what, when, and where. And then it assesses the situation, and then it basically makes a smart decision about where the salt should go, where the fish should go, and it balances everything out, and it doesn't make any society worth more. It doesn't make any city worth more than the other, and it just keeps going. It just keeps making decisions for the entire society based on data, not based on personal gain, or not based on any not based on like creating something that a human would think. And people are afraid of that because they think that the system can be controlled, or the system would take over, or some there's all these Hollywood movies about computers taking over the world. Well, they should, because computers are a lot smarter than us, and humans always have human error. The only thing that I think that obviously we need to have is the off button. It's so easy to put an off button on a computer. And to be honest, I saw a video by Michio Kaku, he's a theoretical physicist, and he basically said that all of society, or all of the technology, the robotic technology of today equates to a retarded cockroach, because it can't tell like the simple things in life that we take for granted. Like it can't tell like the distance between itself and something else, or the size, or it can't weigh itself against something else that is near it. Like it can't sense danger or stuff like that. Like it can't do the basic things that we take for granted. And so robotics are coming a long way, and they're increasingly becoming more and more amazing. And the more and more amazing they get, the more practical they get, or the more practical they will be for use in the future, is building like new societies and stuff like that. So my idea has always been to create a technocracy. That's always been my not my goal or not anything like that, but just something that I think would work as a technocracy, where all the resources in the world are controlled under a database, probably even run by Google, who knows, but all the resources would be controlled by a single computer, and all those everybody would be basically pushed into into roles that they need to be that would go along the side of, or that would be under their own interest, and everything could be all the work that takes manpower would all be sanctioned to like robotics. So all of the stuff that the menial stuff that people do, like going grocery shopping. Imagine if you didn't have to go out and grocery shop. Imagine if you didn't have to work a job. Imagine if you didn't have to like do manual labor. Oh, and I'm out of what was I going to build? Oh, I know what I'm going to build. I need a lot of sticks. I need to build some ladders. But I was just thinking, like, imagine if you didn't ever have to build. I mean, you didn't ever have to work anymore, like these crazy jobs, or you didn't have to work back-breaking jobs, and you would essentially just oh, let me see here. There we go. So that all the jobs that you had would just be really just enjoying yourself. And people think that that's crazy, but right now almost everything that we make to this day is all about making life easier to live, and it's going to get to the point where it is going to just be about having fun. And you can't use a ladder like that? Oh my god. So you can't go from a vine to a ladder. That's lame. How do I make a vine then? Oh, no. I'm gonna die by the end of this episode. I should probably eat something. I should probably sit on this thing. Here we go. Alright, sweet. I need to eat something before I die. Okay, sweet. But yeah, I just think about these things all the time. Like, since Google has so much data, we could create a database of all the things that people would need. Come on, dude. There we go. Alright, I think I'm going to build my house up here. This would be awesome. Oh, you can't put it on leaves? Alright, that's cool. Okay, sweet. Ugh, just gotta get adjusted. So, let me see here. How should I build this house? I wish I could just have leaves, but I don't know how to get leaves. I should probably just use use sticks or something, or wood. So we can go back to talking about. Okay, the Illuminati. I need to focus for a second. I've seen recently a lot of people who get stuck up on the on like how, you know, the stories of people being murdered and stuff like that, just for looking up, you know, the I actually saw these videos. I saw this one video once of this guy. His he says that he ran into like the president in some like there was like an underground passage or something that he followed the government, or he was following like he was following a government vehicle underground, and there's all these underground passages, and he went to go on saying that he saw like I don't remember, I think it was like Dick Cheney turn into an actual like reptile guy. And this video is I forget, the guy's name was Brandon or something, but I just remember seeing that, and I was like, at that time I was taking that stuff serious, and I was like, oh my god. And I was watching it, and you could see like the guy, he gets like he gets attacked by, you know, some guards or whatever, and he's like really close to something that looks like an official United States official. And it just looked really crazy. Like the whole video was really well done, I'd have to say, and the Dick Cheney impersonator or whatever looked pretty real. Not even gonna lie, it looked pretty much like Dick Cheney. And even the security guard or whatever looked like somebody who, you know, it didn't look like an actor at all. Like it was like the guy got legitimately attacked. And you know, that was part of their whole presentation, I guess. But the guy got literally attacked, and then they showed him like being put into a ritual, like sacrificed, or there was a girl being sacrificed in the video. And it was really crazy, because when I was looking into that stuff, I was like, oh my god, like what are they doing? Or is this like, I was questioning or not, like whether or not, you know, well, first off, I was questioning if it was real, but obviously like I was freaked out from what I was watching, and I was freaking myself out watching it, which in turn like made me nowadays when I look at that stuff, not only do I call myself a dumbass for even thinking that stuff, you know, that video was real, because obviously it was a marketing ploy just to get more views on the internet, to become infamous as like somebody who went out and found something crazy, like some sort of conspiracy stuff, and wanting people to see some, you know, something that I wanted to verify their own egotistical needs to be put up on the internet as like some sort of martyrs or some sort of seeker of truth, that sort of thing. And that's fine and dandy. I mean, even I feel like sometimes when I post videos up, I feel like this is gonna get me so many views, or this is gonna get me like this is gonna get me so much infamy. I'm gonna be able to brag about it later when I'm done with this whole thing. And it's just funny, because the whole Illuminati stuff to me is just a ploy to really shield you from the actual truth. The actual truth is in plain day. The actual truth is like straight up, like it doesn't have anything to do with code, or anything to do with like lineage, or anything to do with any of the things that they want you to believe. Like they don't hide that stuff, like to the degree where they don't need to hide stuff. They can show like the truth in front of you, and you won't even understand it, because it is so easy. It was so simple, and it takes a lot of hard work, and it took them a long time to establish, you know, control over everybody. And it's not even control, it's just taking what they have, like the resources they have, you know, technology, like the internet and Google and stuff like that, Google Analytics, and taking all these things into account, and just basically creating a society around that. They're not like, they're everyday people like me and you that are, there's not even a one or two or three people involved. It's like a lot of groups and banks and stuff like that. It's a huge thing. It's not like a few people that are standing around in a room with capes on. It is like a huge, massive ordeal of companies that come together to basically control what you see, or what you how you experience your world. And it's not even like all that. It's not even all that crazy, because if it was crazy, then it wouldn't make it. It wouldn't survive. It wouldn't. People would catch on too fast, and it wouldn't be effective at all. I should make this entire thing glass, because I don't want to lose my view. Yeah, I'll make it glass. We're gonna have to go and get some sand. This is gonna take forever, but it's worth it. Do I have any torches? Yeah, I have torches. I can light my way up. But yeah, like, it would never fly if there was some huge conspiracy to it. It would never fly, because people people are so undisturbed by the reality they live in, that if you do disturb them and you do something against the norm, then they'll just reject it immediately. What do you mean by that? By that, I mean, like, if they were to take control too far, like, and they were gonna straight up try and make things too crazy, or they're like, whenever they try and enforce some sort of crazy, do something crazy with the government laws or whatever, then people like reject it immediately, and no one will take it first. No one will take it serious, and they'll just straight up and they'll fail in their attempts. Let's see here. They'll fail in their attempts at controlling people, and they don't want to do that, because there's already an established rule. So when you go to these websites and you see, like, the Illuminati stuff up there on the internet, you got to take it with a grain of salt. You can watch it. I mean, to me, it's a waste of time. The better thing to do would be to go out and learn about business itself, and learn how to do things on that plane, rather than trying to think that there's some sort of crazy conspiracy out there, that there's some sort of world power. Let me see here. Yeah, so it's better to go out and learn more about what you have a passion for, and not waste your time, not waste like the week or so that you get into the panic mode of, oh my god, there's Illuminati everywhere. They killed Tupac. All that shit is dumb. It really is. And to be honest, like, there's a way to get past all of that, and there's a higher thought process than what than that whole Illuminati ordeal. The higher thought process is keeping yourself in the moment, because keeping yourself in the moment requires a continuous amount of thought that a computer cannot compute. Like, a computer doesn't know that it's in the moment. A computer has no sense of time like that. It can basically record time as time happens, but it doesn't know that. It's not conscious of it being in the ever present moment. But you can. It's just like a mirror. Like, you just stream the data in your mind, and then you it's not even data, because you're experiencing it firsthand. And a computer might be able to do that to an extent, but it can't do it to the degree where it's conscious of it, or it's conscious of being in the present moment. Something has to happen in order for a computer to react. There's a cause and react for a computer, and some might argue that that's the same thing with humans, but I think that I think it goes beyond that. I think there's something about humans that make, us a lot more than we understand ourselves. There's some sort of interconnectivity that's going on between a lot of humans because our society is so ingrained, and because we are products of our environment. We definitely have there's something going on. There's some sort of connectiveness, because I know that when I was a kid, me and my little brother would laugh about things, or we would see something, and immediately we would look at each other, and we didn't even have to say anything. We would just smile or something, or we would just do that. We wouldn't even smile sometimes. We would just look at each other, and we'd know exactly what each other is thinking. We'd know like how each other is reacting. We know like the feelings that we had without even expressing it. Like we just knew. Like it was I don't know if that's has anything special to do, or if it's just being around the same person, knowing their personality, but it's just like we knew what each other was thinking, or what each other was going to say, even to the degree where we would even be able to, where we would say the same thing, and then we would just be like, ha, jinx, or whatever. And that happened so much. It was crazy. That would happen so much, as that me and my little brother would be to the point where we would literally know exactly what each other was going to say, and we sometimes didn't even talk, because we already knew what was going on. We didn't even need to talk. That's why we were so silent. People would be like, man, you guys don't talk too much, do you? We're like, no, we're talking. We're just talking, and you just can't hear us. You can't hear our language, because we've already talked about this subject like 4 or 5 times over, but we didn't even say anything, but we understood each other. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever had like a brother or sister that you could do that with, but I think that's really common, especially if you're like a man and wife or something, and you've been around each other for a long time. Well, actually, man and wife wouldn't be, because you can never understand women. No, but it's just that mentality is I don't know if that's really how it was between me and my brother, because I don't know my little brother. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was just like, he didn't really. Maybe my brother it wasn't the same for him. Who knows? Like, I would never know that, because I wasn't in his mind. But it seemed to be there, because every time we would talk, or anytime we would have any sort of reaction toward each other, we already knew what was going on. It seems like we had already discussed our reactions, and we didn't need to discuss it, to the degree where it ended up where we would just be quiet, and we would just sort of smile, and the only time, every so often, we would look at each other and say something, just to reconfirm that attachment, or that our connectivity is still there. Let's see, I need to make a lot of sand. I should probably not even do this right here. Where is... Oh, I need to make a pickaxe then. I don't know if you guys know anybody that you're as close, that you're really close to, that sort of thing happened. But I know that there's a couple of people that happened with me, and if it's happened with me, then it's probably happened to a lot of people. I think that... I don't know if it's just, I don't know, sometimes it might even just be with me and other people. I don't know. That might be the case. That might not be the case. I might be tripping balls or something. Who knows? I might be out of my mind. Maybe I'm fooling myself into believing that would happen to people. Maybe that is the case. Maybe I was totally wrong. Maybe you always have to keep your mind open. Maybe I was totally wrong. Maybe I wasn't. Who knows? But I think that was a big part of my upbringing, was being able to have that closeness with somebody like my little brother. And to me, that was really special. And now when I go and talk to my little brother, we don't have that anymore. We're totally separate, different people now. I don't feel like we have that connectivity anymore. We used to when we were kids, because we were around each other so much, but we don't have that anymore, and that's something a computer can't do. That's something that they can't mimic, because that happens only in the present moment. Like, that's only something that would ever happen if somebody, if they were conscious of being in the present moment. It doesn't, that can't happen if you're just collecting data, because something has to happen in order for for you to collect data. Maybe there's a way to like measure people's brain activity or something. I don't know, but still, even then, you still have to collect data for that to even work. So I think that was something that was really special when I was a kid, and I hope to have that again with somebody in the future. That would be really awesome to have that interconnectivity with somebody. And to me, that is what is really being in the know. Because a lot of these videos that you see about, the Illuminati, secret societies and all that are about people not being in the know. And being in the know, to me, has something along the lines of just being interconnected with the people around you to a degree where you don't even have to talk to them, where you can kind of walk through society and know what people are thinking, know what people are doing, and not assuming, but actually knowing. And there's a huge difference between that, because and I think that there's some people who are even in the know who do advertise and use it for their own gain, and that's awesome, because they're doing something better for themselves. I mean, they're probably that might be their passion, is having that that insight. And I know there's a lot of, I've worked with some people who can come up with ideas just on the fly, like I don't want to throw my shovel out. Let's see, I need to throw this rotten meat out. Oh my god, I just lost. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I lost my I don't know what happened. Like, my screen just went crazy. But just throw that out. I don't need feathers. I don't need saplings. I don't need these either. Okay, let's grab the sand. Alright, there we go. So it would be nice to one day have that again. I do miss my little brother. I miss having that, having, our conversations that we had. We weren't really even like, we didn't even talk too much about like stuff like the Illuminati or stuff like God or anything like that, because we sort of just knew, that it was trivial. We knew it was trivial to, and it would, that if we did talk about that stuff, it would break, it would break us from what we had. Like, it would break us from our being in the know. It would break us from our connectivity, because something like that would just totally distract us. So we didn't even talk about stuff like that. We didn't talk about religion. We didn't talk about what each other thought about God, because we just assumed, we just were enjoying each other's presence. We didn't care too much about about the logistics of life. We didn't care too much about what's right or what's wrong. We just sort of lived as long as each other was happy, then it was awesome. That was when we were kids, and that's generally how kids are. I mean, they don't focus too much. They're not like adults. Adults focus on the trivial stuff, because they think that their lives are so boring that they need to fulfill it with something. They feel like they're missing out on life, because they're they don't have like the job or something that they want, or they don't have that Corvette, or they're focused on different things. They're focused on, when you're a kid, you don't have, I've heard someone say this, but when you're a kid, you don't have money, and you have all the time in the world to do anything you want. But when you're an adult, it's the opposite. You have you have money, but you have no time to do anything. And a lot of people, when they raise their kids, they end up raising their kids just to fulfill their own needs, to fulfill like the things that they wanted to do when they were kids. They raise their kids in a way to basically fulfill their own goals when they were kids. They did a lot of things just to they create an environment for their kids in a way that it is reminiscent of what they wish they had when they were kids. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me that's how things go. Is like when you grow into an adult, you buy your kid everything just because you never had that when you were a kid, and then your kid grows up and is a spoiled kid or whatever, and then they're like, well, I never had this when I was a kid. My dad never bought me a red Corvette, he always bought me a white one. I remember it's funny watching those videos online where I saw this video of this girl who got a Ferrari for her birthday, and she was crying because the Ferrari was blue, not because it was. I was like, that's a Ferrari. And she was crying because she wanted a pink Ferrari and not a blue one. And I was like, wow. And but she's a product of her own environment. Like she was raised like that. She was raised, someone was feeding her their own expectations from their own life, and that morphed her into that person. Just like the Miami Zombie. The Miami Zombie is a product of his own lack of morality in his world or whatever. Somebody, there we go. Somebody gave this guy, the LSD that he took, and he started eating people's faces. Ugh, Jesus. Let's see here. And stuff like that is going to happen in the future. People are going to be eating other people's faces for days. But that's just how life goes, to be honest. Like, people are products of their own environment. When I say that, I mean like they can't think outside of their environment, because that's all they know. That's all they've been taught. That's the only thing they can muster from the society they grow up in. If they were to grow up in a society that was better, like the society I described, the technocracy, where all the resources are basically taken into account and distributed equally, then yeah, I think life would be a lot better for them. Life would be a lot better for everybody. But that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But it would be awesome to have something like that. It would be awesome to be able to know that that the future is going to be awesome, or that the future is set in stone, that nothing's gonna come into our world that's going to destroy what we already have going, or that humans will live forever. But they're not going to live forever. Humans are going to die soon. Like, I think that humans aren't going to last too long. And I also watched this video by Michio Kaku that said, like, aliens are just waiting for us to become a type 1 society, then they'll come and talk to us. And a type 1 society is a society that can maintain itself without dying, and also that is in pure balance, like that is in a sense of in a balance that they don't need to, that they don't really need any help to stay alive, that they can kind of control the weather, or that they can't be, that they won't be too dependent on their environment to provide for them. Like right now, we still rely on fossil fuels. We still rely on fossil fuels to remain intact. Like And by fossil fuels, I mean gas. Like we still rely on dead trees in order to keep our society alive. Now, when we get past that, beyond that, then yeah, maybe we might be able to do something, or maybe we might get visited by aliens that, once we find peace and once we become a type 1 society, then yeah, maybe a type 2 or a type 3 society might come visit us and explain to us how the rest of our society should work and how everything should go about from now on. But since we are so primitive and we still rely on gas and stuff like that, then obviously there's the only type of societies that would come, like alien societies, would be ones that want to take us over. Because if you think about it, if you lived in outer space and you heard of, if you saw our history, the human history, then you would be like, we don't ever want these people to be anywhere near us because they are destroying themselves. They're like, there's like Miami zombies. We don't want any of the Miami zombies near us. We don't want anyone on LSD who is going to eat our faces. We just want to live a peaceful life. And so if, say, you're some alien outside of the world and you basically like wanted to have this you wanted to visit a planet like ours, like planet Earth or something, and how would you do it? You would be invisible, right? You would not want to confront people. You would not want to, it would be scary to talk to someone from Earth. It really would be, because they're so primitive. It's like going into the jungle. It would literally be like going into a jungle, like a safari or something. You don't want to talk to the lions because you realize that the lions don't have any morals or ethics. The lions don't have like the same appreciation for like a single individual that you have, because the lion's worried about itself. The lion's worried about survival. And lions are actually way more stable than humans are. Or at least their society is way more stable, more natural, doesn't destroy the earth. But overall, I think that eventually we'll get to the point, we'll either destroy ourselves or we'll become a type 1 society. That'll be the day when, I can't even think about it, because I have lived in this society where it's been so ingrained in my mind that things can't be different. Which is why stuff like the Illuminati gets so much attention, is because, God, alright, there we go. It's been so ingrained into people's minds that, life can't change, or that, society can't change, and then all of a sudden they become mentally wrecked because of the idea, it's actually mind exhausting just to even talk about stuff like this, because you're talking against your own conditioning. You're talking against what you've been taught your entire life, and to think outside of the box. I think it's necessary to think outside of the box, but it's also necessary to keep yourself in the, in your society, and keep yourself from totally rejecting your society. Because when you totally reject your society, then you're going to become a wreck. You're going to become a Miami zombie. You're going to start taking drugs, because you're going to start to have less and less hope. And you're going to forget that you need to have a break too. You need to enjoy life, even if it's enjoying yourself in the current situation that we live in. You got to do it, because you have a very short life. You're going to be alive for a very short amount of time, and you need to enjoy the most of it. And the more you can keep yourself in the now, in the present moment, the more you're going to see, the more is going to be revealed to you. It's like the more you keep yourself balanced, and the more you the more you just focus on your own personal gain, even as selfish as that sounds, the more you should, because you're not going to have too much time to do it. And if you want to like help other people, that's cool, because that's selfish in itself, but that is still a great way to spend time on Earth. And to me, like, I think I have fun talking to you guys on this, even though half of what I say, I'll go back and I'll be like, that was retarded, why did I say that? I still think in the end, I think you guys have an understanding of where I'm coming from and what I'm saying, so much so that I don't literally have to say it. I don't have to say it and talk to you guys like that, like you're dumbasses or anything like that, because I know you guys think about these things too, and you've probably gone through the same thought processes, and you can sort of predict what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna say next to a degree. And it is all every one of my messages from all of these Minecraft videos are all the same. They're all the same. They all come from the same place. So when you I think that this is a pretty good place to stop doing the Minecraft. This is going to take forever to upload. I know this one was a pretty long one, but I know you guys enjoy the longer episodes, and I enjoy making longer episodes because then I get to hash out entire ideas instead of just hashing out like a few ideas. And maybe next time I can finish my treehouse and we can enjoy it, and we can look out into the vast jungle, and we can go explore soon. We can go explore some caves, and it'll be awesome. My house, I think this world is going to be sweet because of this jungle, and I found an awesome place. Oh my god, and I died. God. I'm never going to find this spot again. God damn it. Alright. I think I just need to end this video, but I'm going to go find my house again. I don't even know where it was. Let's see. I'm not going to be able to get to my spot or to my stuff in time anyways. I didn't even have all that much. I don't think I did. And a lot of the glass I had is in the furnace, so, and I don't have any. I have the coal in there. That's kind of lame. God damn it. That's probably why I shouldn't have built the house way up there. Anyway, I hope you guys have an epic day, epic night, whatever it is. I will find my home again, and then I'm going to save it. I think this is a pretty good Minecraft episode. I think I will call this one the Illuminati, so I can illuminate my way. I need something to illuminate my way back to my home in the jungles. I don't know, guys. I'll see ya.